Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is by any means. There go the Cash App, $ Dean by any means. There go the PayPal at Dean by any means. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It's much appreciated. You right there, you that just hit this, that's listening to me right there. Stop, hit that like button. Don't be eavesdropping. Hit that like button. Don't be eavesdropping. All right? Cool. All right, let's go, y'all. They favorite fighter would never, y'all. Gervonta Davis said that he is willing to be the co-main for David Benavidez on a pay-per-view. Your favorite fighter would never do that. And it goes, and especially Gervonta Davis being the one fighter in boxing that doesn't have to do that. I really respect that. I respect Gervonta Davis for acknowledging that David Benavidez is a star, somebody that he admires, that he want to see better and develop. This is what I'm talking about growth as a human being. Gervonta Davis knows he's the star of stars right now. And the fact that he's willing to do that for David Benavidez to boost him up and put him in the spotlight where he don't want it to just be all about him is miraculous, man. That's what boxers need to be doing in boxing to uplift each other. The same thing Gervonta did with Jaron Ennis. That's how you build real relationships with other men. Truly. They know they too far in weight classes, but the fact that I like that Gervonta Davis knows he's a bigger star, but he don't think he's a better person or better boxer than David Benavidez. He feels as though David Benavidez should be just as known, just as respected as he is. And that's the part that I know that y'all favorite fighters would never do that. They would never humble themselves or have that much humility to be willing to put that much bread and money in somebody else's pocket and say, I'll take the back seat, man. And to really give David Benavidez credit and thank him for being a co-main on Gervonta pay-per-view. Because David Benavidez, his last fight before that, he was the main event. He was the pay-per-view attraction. And I just really appreciate the respect that two of my favorite fighters have for each other, man. It's a beautiful thing to see in boxing where we ain't talking about ducking, we ain't talking about narratives, we ain't talking about all of the nonsense that go on in the sport of boxing when I could talk about something that's real positive and actually forward in the sport. Could you imagine David Benavidez and Gervonta Davis in Phoenix, Arizona, fighting where the Suns play? It'll be sold out. It'll be sold out again. And I really respect Gervonta Davis for doing that because he know he don't have to do that. But I respect the fact that he admires David Benavidez enough and knows that David Benavidez is such a talent that he should do that, that David Benavidez deserves that the David Benavidez is not lesser than him. And for all y'all that be talking crazy about black Americans, now that's a black American that's willing to humble himself and give acknowledgement to a Spanish American. And then y'all get mad at us for loving our culture and saying we FBA and we black Americans. We don't hate on nobody. Because one thing in black American culture, the last thing, every black American that's listening to me, I'm talking about who grandparents was born, died here. Every black American that was born here understands this. The one thing you never want to be called is a hater. The last thing a black American wants to be called is a hater. The last thing you want to be known at is a hater. So I really appreciate that from Gervonta Davis because I've never, ever heard not one fighter that was in Gervonta Davis' position ever willing to humble themselves like that to do something like that. And I know he was serious to show that he's also a fan of other guys in the sport, the same way Canelo's a fan of him. David Benavidez is a fan of him. Noah Inoue is a fan of him. I appreciate that Gervonta Davis shows those same individuals that's not his skin complexion, not his race, that level of admiration and respect because all of those guys earned it. Even though y'all know how I feel about Canelo and the PED use and all of that stuff. I'm very proud of Gervonta Davis, man, for showing how you supposed to move as the sport in the sport of boxing. See, my favorite fighter does things like that. Your favorite fighter lie on other fighters and create narratives. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Or your favorite fighter be complaining about they not getting the right promotion. Gervonta Davis is willing to take it on himself to help promote somebody else. That's not even him. These guys can't even promote themselves. Gervonta Davis is willing to promote somebody else. I want y'all to think about how boss that is without them having to be under his banner. David Benavidez is not signed to GTD because that's how men move. That's why I got some of the best friends in the world because there's a lot of my friends doing way better than me financially, but they put me on the same level as them because I bring things to the table that they admire, that they trying to implement in their life, that they wish they had more of. Yeah, they could be doing better financially in a lot of ways, but when it comes to real problems that they got in their life, guess who they call? Guess who they confide in? Guess who they want advice from? Guess who they just want to pick that person's brain? Guess who they know will be rocking with them 100% if they ever needed me for anything, whether it was financial or not, even though they're doing better financially. I would never look at one of my homies. I'll never look at one of my homies that's like doing better than me financially. And if he called me and asked me for something, I'll be like, well, dag, dog, you got more bread than me. What you asking me for? That's cornball stuff, bro. You don't know what he needed for. His card could have got declined. He could be somewhere where he ain't got no bread. He could have left his bread at home. It could have been stolen. It could have been a bunch of different things could have happened. It could be on hold. His check ain't hit. You don't know what somebody's going through. But what you need to do is just to be able to humble yourself and show admiration and have respect for those that hold you up in a big light. I've never heard a main event pay-per-view attraction say what Gervonta Davis said. Y'all talk so crazy about that man, but he shows the most humility. He's the most humble guy after the fight. Yeah, he talk crazy leading up to the fight. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to sell the fight. He's supposed to tell these guys they ain't on his level. Because the truth of the matter is they not on his level. But at the same time, for him to show other fighters that he is trying to better the sport, that he is willing to use his stardom to help you gain yours, because he feels as though it should be where he see what Gervonta Davis showed me is that he don't want to just be holding the spotlight by himself. He not an attention whore. And you gotta respect that as a man. Any man, I respect that. We don't, man, look, what Suge Knight say? You don't want somebody that's always all up in the videos, that want to be the only person shining, don't want to acknowledge that he's not the only person doing this thing out here. So I just really admire that from Gervonta Davis, man. Just even willing to say that you have never heard that and you probably never hear that again. Canelo Alvarez would never do that. I don't think Terrence Crawford would ever do that. I don't even think Errol Spence would do that, to be honest, and that's one of my other guys. But I don't think he would do that. Gervonta Davis, the biggest star in boxing, to be willing to do that for David Benavidez. And I just respect that they have for each other and that friendship that they have, because I can see that growing to be a beautiful friendship as they get older. I'm talking about when they both done boxing, because I know David Benavidez will never forget that. And David Benavidez takes me as they similar in personalities. They don't really say too much, but they very direct. I think that's why they like each other. Do you understand? I think that's why Jaron Ennis and Tank Davis is friends. They don't say too much, but they're very direct when spoken to about how they feel, where they want their career to be, and that these other boxers just not better than them. And you got to admire that dog in all three of them. This is not the first person. Gervonta Davis has helped promote Pitbull Cruz. Why you think Pitbull Cruz got so much admiration for Gervonta Davis? Pitbull Cruz is a star now. Pitbull Cruz is at least every big as Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson is, as far as like people wanting to watch him fight. You got to admire that, man, when a man is able to humble himself, be willing to give other people attention. I respect all the channels that have done that for me. They're bigger platforms than I am, but they let me put their link in their chat. They shout me out. They tell people to subscribe to me. They come on my show. Shout out to my man Knockout Boxing. He done came on my show when he didn't have to. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Drizzy. He has come on my show when he didn't have to. Shout out to everybody who catch me when they live and they show support and send people my way. They don't have to do that, but they understand what I bring to the table when it comes to this boxing talk and this boxing game. Shout out to my man Fanon, does the same thing. Manager Murray, Just Do, Upper Echelon, Crown Jewel, just name them, and I return the favor. I make sure I give them credit. When I hear something that they said and I wasn't aware of, I make sure that I let them know that's where I got it from. Go check their channel out. Go subscribe. Go hit that like button. Don't be an eavesdropper, whether you agree with them or not. So at the end of the day, man, y'all know what this is, man. Shout out to Gervonta Davis. Shout out to David Benavidez. Y'all already know. I'll holla at y'all, all right?